And you're recording?
Yeah.
Let's open up quiz.
Okay.
Question 1. In the U.S., the patent pharmaceutical companies receive for each new drug they develop is...
It's 17 years, right?
I believe so. $17. What chapter are we even on again? I can't remember.
So it would be in chapter 12.
Okay. I've had the craziest week, so I'm like all over the place. It's chapter 12.
Mm-hmm.
So you said 17. Are you pretty confident with that one?
Yeah, I'm almost just 100% confident.
I mean, that sounds good to me too. It sounds right. Because under 10 years, I think is too short, and over like 20 is too long.
Yeah.
So 17, I think, is right. Okay. Which one of the following statements is true concerning price control on drugs?
It's definitely not. It's not they increase the innovation rate, because price controls actually do the opposite.
It's not that they help the market reach equilibrium. I remember this question, and that's one of the ones I got wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So from experience, I know that one's not right.
Okay. Let's see. Trying to even find price controls in the book. I can't find it.
It's page 238 is where it starts.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I wonder if they make existing drugs more affordable.
It says, or it might be improved market efficiency, just because it says drug price control undercuts the effects of patents. They keep innovative firms from charging monopoly prices.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that kind of sounds like. And then it says incentive to research new drugs. I mean, I think it does both, but I think that they improve market efficiency, but unless you see something else. You see anything else?
Let's see. I don't know. So it says price controls and patents work in opposite ways, trading off between consumer access to existing drugs and incentives for developing new drugs. And yeah, I don't know which one to choose, the market efficiency or more affordable.
This is why it'd be nice to have a third party to like put their input into for which one.
Yeah.
She's like, it's kind of like if one of us insists, then it's gonna be like, oh, we were wrong, kind of thing. Well, let's think about it. So, I'm saying that they improve market efficiency because they basically force the companies to um, be innovative, but also they don't have. It says so they can't charge monopoly prices. So that does mean that they're more affordable, but the I guess if it still had the patent, it wouldn't matter on market efficiency because they would have that patent still, so only they can make the drug, right?
Yeah.
So I guess then by that thought process, I'd lean more to the affordable because I would assume you can have price controls and patents in the same time. It's just they just try to control or cap the I guess like a price ceiling situation where you can't charge over a certain price, even if you have the monopoly on that drug.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do affordable then?
I guess let's just go with it.
Okay.
See what happens. So the FDA decides whether to approve a drug for use in the United States or not. It bases its decision mostly on
Whether it's safe and effective?
Yeah, that one's it. I would think so.
The other ones don't seem correct.
Yeah, they don't really make sense.
Which is a fall into type 1 error. That's the ineffective drug is approved for market. Because type 2 is an effective drug is not approved.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so that's ineffective drug is approved to enter the U.S. market.
Mm-hmm. It's not correct. Well, I don't know this one. I'll have to look that one up.
It's so what about innovations?
It
is let me reread it just to
okay.
It's a little confusing. Which of the following is not correct concerning the last price index of healthcare inflation?
Do you even know where is it in the book? I can't even find it.
I don't remember. I do remember I did have this question though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, this one wasn't on my quiz.
This one was on mine. I remember like the index question.
Did you get it right?
I believe so.
Do you remember what you put? Well, wait a second.
It was like the innovation It's only one that's it considers new innovations.
Okay. I guess let's just go with that one. What do you think?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I mean, if it's wrong, I can always go back and check later and be like, "What's the right one?" But
Yeah.
hopefully, it's right. If a cure becomes available for the disease, then the pricing for curing it.
So if a cure becomes available, then the price for curing.
I did get this one on mine too.
Mm-hmm.
I got it wrong, but I know that the wrong answer is increases because patient now needs to spend more money.
Okay. Well, then I would assume it's decreased because it was previously effectively infinite. But that's just me guessing because the other two seem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I understand what you mean. I mean, I'm good to guess for it if you are too. Um,
Okay.
well, I'm trying to think. I'm just trying to think through like the whole idea.
Yeah. Wish I could find it in the.
Wouldn't know where this one is exactly either. And I mean, I might just be overthinking it, but like, because I would think that if like you had, I mean, thinking from like a pharmaceutical profit making kind of view, like, oh, people need this cure, we're gonna increase the price. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like because I'm gonna make a quick buck out of this outbreak or whatever you want to call it. Um, I guess my confusion right now is from like this decreases because it was previously effectively infinite.
I guess, let me see. So infinite, I want to make sure I'm thinking of the right word. Okay, so infinite basically means it was the only one on the market. So basically, I think what it's asking, so if kind of like after a patent expires and more businesses are allowed to make like a generic version, then the price would go down because now other companies are able to make a different version
I'm
of
sorry,
that.
you're starting to cut out a little bit. Oh,
Am I good now? Can you hear me?
now I can a little bit.
Okay. So did you get any of that? Did you?
No, not really. You were like cutting out, and then I couldn't hear you. Now I can. So I
Okay.
didn't hear what you were saying.
So what I was saying was, I think what this question is implying is that, oh, wait. I don't know. I thought in the question it said infinite, but the answer says infinite. Never mind.
Because I'm thinking like, I mean, we'd have to assume whether there's a patent on it or not. Um, we'd have to assume if it's a drug, I guess that like um I guess like has like a shelf life. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
are they already stocked up on it, or do they have to rush make? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm kind of like I'm kind of thinking it's difficult to determine without additional information, because I mean, if they do have like 5 generic ones out there, I mean, I would think it would decrease or something, or stay the same. But we don't know if there's like a patent for the cure, if there's more than one cure. You know what I mean, though?
I do know what you mean, and I would say the same, but the thing is, with just from experience, that answer, the answers that are, you cannot determine this with the information provided, or any type of answer like that, are usually the wrong ones.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And I would think that there is an answer. So I'll agree. I can agree to go with the decrease because effectively it was previously implemented.
Okay. Yeah, I guess let's just go with it. Man, I feel like I should have just read better this week. I don't know. This week was hard for me with homework and stuff.
It's like midterm weeks are like annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, I have another midterm next week, and I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay, so the Dartmouth Atlas Research Project. So, trying to find that.
It's it's the one. No COVID. No, it's not that one. It's the one that varied among different regions.
Oh, you think it was widely varied among different regions?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Oh, I remember this one. So it costs more in Boston for a hip replacement than in Boise. We can conclude that. It's the Boston may be on a lower health production function.
I mean, the other ones don't fit. I don't think would fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this next one, so I remember this one, and I got it wrong, and I chose an aging population, and so it's the following is not a reason for the rising total health expenditures. I thought it said which of the following is a reason. So the aging one is wrong.
It's the rapid increase in income levels of Americans.
Okay. Let's go with that.
I added 2 and I got it right.
Okay.
I remember this question well. Because I spent like, I think a while thinking about it, and then I finally just chose the income level, and it was right. Okay. Discuss case study in a textbook, either Hodgkin's lymphoma, and peptic ulcers. That's 260. Heart attack survival. Ask or answer at least 2 questions. Ensure each person participates. Okay. So we're at the very end at this point. Okay. Which one do you want to do? The lymphoma or the heart attack survival?
Let's see how. Let me look at the. So 262.
264.
I'm good with either or.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember these well. I'm probably just gonna have to really quickly skim over it.
Yeah. So, do you just want to do the Hodgkin's one?
Yeah, we'll do that one.
Okay.
I was gonna. What was that? You cut out again. Sorry.
I'm just gonna start reading it.
Okay. Excuse me. Let's try the petri dish one. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like a Slovenian, so I'm almost done.
Okay. I'm ready when you're ready.
Okay. I guess I have a question like to discuss. Just I thought it was interesting. Is like, why do you think in both cases the price, I guess, of the cure has dropped, but like the price of like the care has increased.
So I think it's just because, so from what I read, the price of care increases dramatically just because new technology and new medicines such as chemotherapy do cost a lot of money. So back then in the 1950s, it explained that there was really no care besides palliative, which is basically just making sure they're as comfortable as can be, which is basically almost free. So it's just risen because of new technology and new ways of treating patients. And I think the cure has went down. That I was a little confused about, but I think it's just kind of saying that the price of the cure has gone down because in the 1950s there was no cure at all, and so for there to be a cure, it automatically goes down. I don't know. How did you take that?
Well, I mean, just kind of like thinking through it. Thinking through like the idea, like I would think that if like, oh, there's a cure for something, it's gonna be expensive.
Right.
And like that's where I think I'm like just a little confused is that kind of thinking, why would curing be cheaper, than the care? I mean, I can understand that the care is like, it's over time, and I mean, I even thinking like it can add up, it's going to be expensive, you know. But just kind of thinking like in those terms, I would, almost instantly think, oh, that means that now, um, when you get the cure, that's gonna be really expensive. But again, like you said, it's opposite. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's almost like this might sound just kind of like maybe a little cynical, just kind of thinking like or sadistic, where it's like when people organizations profit off like the care,
Mm-hmm.
and then once the cure, they don't.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's a lot of speculation, but just kind of thinking like in terms of like, I mean, kind of like this class, like we're talking about economics and prices and all that kind of stuff. Um, Kind of thinking that way, uh, it would kind of seem, and I guess no one would ever confess to this, but kind of thing like it might be more expensive during the care, not necessarily entirely, but maybe just a little bit of it
Mm-hmm.
because it's more profitable than the cure.
Right.
You know what I'm trying? Like, does that make sense?
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's exactly right, but I think that does contribute at least a small piece to the puzzle.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, in my mind, like my thought process would be like, oh, the cure should be more expensive than the care, but like it says in the cases, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So that's this kind of I think of it like I think you make really good points that um the technology is a lot more expensive, and I mean even ignoring like technology and like medical, I mean things now are more expensive than they were like 50 years ago anyway. um you know how like they say that like 20 years ago $20 would buy you a lot more than it does now and all that kind of thing. I
Yeah.
mean there's so much that goes into it. And I did think that like how you mentioned how there was like no real care before, and then now there is, and it's more advanced, and I mean it is, but I also think that part of it kind of goes into um, the profitability of each situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, that's my thought on that. Um,
So, um, Try to think of a question.
I'm just typing right now what we just talked about.
Okay, I'll do that too.
Excuse me. Um, Smaller than. Oh. Did you maybe want to do a question from the other study? The price of the heart attack survival? Or
Let's see.
do you just want some time to kind of think about something? I'm not sure what else to ask either.
Yeah, I feel like we went over everything on that just case study. So I guess I'm seeing a lot of the COL index. So I guess my question is, what is the COL index? That's so the cost of living index.
Yeah.
So it answers the question about whether patients should prefer today's heart attack care at today's prices or yesterday's care at yesterday's prices.
Okay. That seems pretty straightforward. I guess kind of going along with your question is like, so wait, so now I'm curious. So that the COL index kind of states how much it would cost, kind of based on like each year. Is that what it's saying?
That's what it looks like, because if you look at the table 13.2, it shows it just goes down to every year. So if it goes up, it indicates that achieving the same amount of post-heart attack survival is more expensive. So if it goes up, it could be a sign that there is a shortage of surgeons or oxygen masks, and that means it's more expensive. Okay, so
That's interesting. So I read it here. I found this. It says the cost of treating MI rose 32% from 11,175, which is in 1984, to 14,772, which is 1991, and it says both are put in 1991 dollars to account for economy-wide inflation. So, kind of like what we said earlier, it's like we discussed before. It's like the whole inflation can also affect. So that basically that just means that once it's just gonna get more expensive every year, basically.
right, yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
That's unfortunate. Um,
Okay.
oh. Oh, starting typing here.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, we did 2 questions. Is there anything like you want to go back to the questions that you might kind of thought differently, or are you good with everything?
No, I think I'm good with everything. What about you?
I'm fine. I mean, really, all now it's like you're submitting the link, right?
Yeah.
So don't you have to? You said it gets a little tricky. Like, how do you do it? Because I don't want like to make you submit it every time if I can do it, but I don't know how.
So
Like,
let
what
me.
would you have to do? Like, maybe I'll do it next week, but like, how would you do it?
So I'll just start the process right now, and I can tell you what I do because I have to.